Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Mythic Heathens, where we encourage you to tear your toys apart to make a nice custom for yourself, something cool. Bam, like something like that.
That's not what you said
Tonight
a
we,
minute ago.
tonight we have Actionfigurist, we have vile.labs, we have Abomination, and we have myself, steampowered mumb. Tonight we're going to discuss the Elves of Mythos, and we're going to basically do a year-end recap of some stuff that we got, newer releases, and we're going to talk about legionscon. So
So, since our last episode, we were doing the humans and elves. We were gonna do the humans and elves. Then we realized that the humans, there was a shit ton of them.
yeah.
So we split it between elves and humans. We covered the humans in the last episode. Then we took a short break as we attended LegionsCon 2022 and met a ton of new people. We met each other for the first time as well. And then here we are after a longer than expected break, going back into episode 8 to cover the elves finally.
And don't feel bad if you're learning because I'm learning too.
Now, Abomination gives us the perspective today of a completely newcomer to the line. So it's going to be an unbiased opinion on it and completely fresh perspective. So
Well,
that's
my opinion.
that'll be fun.
Yeah, let us
Yeah.
know
All
if it's
right,
interesting or not.
Yeah.
run it.
Yeah, if you, I mean, you see something you like, say you like it. If you see something you don't like, don't say something terrible about it necessarily, but like,
I know I never
dress
hate
it
on
down.
other people's nerd.
Yeah,
Ah,
just like talk shit about it. It's fine.
unless it's Funko, unless it's Funko Pops.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
Funko Pops, that's a different story.
Even though if
Nobody
you
should
look
be
back
doing
here,
that.
I have
I have a couple.
somebody.
Unless you're flipping your Funko Pops for serious money and you're doing it in a smart business like way, sure, but if you're keeping on to those shits, no, you shouldn't be doing that. Because
Man,
there is
It's
a
collect
only
market
whatever
for
you
them.
want. You should be
Yeah.
able to collect whatever you want.
Yeah.
I guess. And I guess if you're finding happiness in Funko Pops, like, be happy, but, like, know that you're wrong. And you shouldn't be happy liking Funko Pops.
You know you'll be collecting them if Four Horsemen start making them.
you take this from
I
experience. I
get a
used to
couple.
collect them. Get the fuck out.
Same. I used to have a bunch of them. I got rid of them.
It's a
There was
black
no
hole
point.
for your wallet.
I want the
Some
Yeah.
people
airs.
have like whole walls, dude. Whole
Oh,
walls
yeah.
dedicated to Funko.
I want the Aether Funko Pop, the Goblin Funko
See?
Pop.
Right?
A a
Try to buy
goblin,
them shits.
a
I kept my
snag,
'90s
a snag
cartoons, and that's
Funko.
it.
Hagnon Pop.
I think I got Leave It to Be, not Leave It to Beaver, fucking Angry Beavers, fucking I got Doug Funny, I got Wayne's World and the RoboCop up there, and that's about it. Oh, and fucking Bill fucking Murray
Whoa.
from Zombieland. It's the only thing I've ever been able to find from Zombieland.
I still have a few of the pops. I have a bunch of Jokers, and I have some Hulkbusters and some other, like the Turtles. I have the cartoon Turtles. I like them.
So if you find
Yeah.
anything from Zombieland, hit a brother
Is
up.
it
I will
hard?
buy them from you,
Is it hard to get the Zombieland ones? I didn't know they
dude.
did.
I have seen one fucking Zombieland thing. That's the Bill Murray. I found that shit at dirt cheap.
Yeah, I didn't even know they did any Funkos for them. But to be fair, they've done Funkos for every other property, so it's not
It's the
surprising that they
greatest
did.
movie of all
Yeah,
time.
I
That's a
do
good one.
enjoy
Pretty
that
good.
movie quite a bit. Yeah.
It's filmed.
Weird choice for Santa.
It's filmed right up
But
the street from where I'm from.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, the opening scene at the gas station from
Yeah,
the first one. That was out there on Main Street on Highway 54, about 5 minutes where I'm fucking live from.
that's awesome.
I have a
So-
rock that I went and picked up, and Will's got one too
From the parking lot?
from the scene, the set. Oh shit!
That's awesome. That's
Okay.
pretty funny.
Matter of fact, they filmed fucking Stranger Things up there where I'm from too.
Oh, really? No, I didn't.
I got
Didn't
pictures
they
of
say
Hawkins
they
High
were like,
School.
is that like in a oldie timey looking 80s town still, or is it a set?
The town, yeah, but the Hawking School is like a fucking actual school. I have pictures. I'll send them to y'all later. I got them somewhere in my fucking Google Photos. I'll send them to y'all at a later time.
That'd be depressing. Imagine if you lived in the school in the town that looked still like it's in the 80s, but not because it's in a set of a movie or a show, but just
The town
because,
doesn't look like
I
that.
like it.
yeah,
I dig
I'd
it.
like
I
it.
dig it.
I'd live there.
right, man. Where you'd go and be like, hey, do I apply online? They're like, no, you got to bring your resume
I don't
down
have
here.
internet. I'd be fine with it.
Like,
Yeah,
but when you watch Zombieland, that fucking tank they got in the middle of the town,
yeah.
somebody owns that bitch.
Shit.
Somebody down there in fucking in Noonan, Georgia owns that tank.
Wow.
That's fucking crazy.
That's pretty awesome,
Anyway,
though.
sorry.
Well, no, it's all right. So, we talked about a little bit about the break that we had and what we did in the break, and that was legionscon 2022. And since Mythic Heathens is the Legions centric show that we do, so it was a pretty big deal. Being able to meet each other for the first time, being able to meet fellow Legion collectors, being able to meet the actual creators of the Legions was a really fucking awesome opportunity, and it was a great trip. Definitely looking forward to next year doing it as well. Maybe doing it smarter, having a better time.
I wasn't
But
there. I
we
was
were
in
able to see the stuff that's upcoming, that's coming up shortly, such as the All Stars and the Cosmic Waves, both the first two Cosmic Waves, and then we were able to see some newly announced Necronominus Wave. So that was a really awesome experience, especially when being able to see it that up close.
Yeah,
So that part was a lot of fun.
dude, the 1/1 scale ogre was really fun.
Yes, that thing
That
was
thing was
awesome.
sweet.
Yeah, and
Imagine
they
that in your
recently
living room.
just posted the process of how they went through making it and painting it. And that looked pretty fun. But
That's
yeah,
all it
imagine
looked
having a
like.
couple of those in your garden. That would look
Yeah, it looked like
phenomenal.
it was made out of styrofoam though, right?
No, that was like cast in gypsum or something. It has to have been. Because that was solid, solid. And it couldn't have been like light either. It would have been, it would have weighed quite a bit.
Yeah,
Because
it's
they put it
multiple
up in pieces. Yeah.
pieces.
Then adding all that fur and the chain and all that. Even the flail looked fucking awesome. So that was a lot of fun, especially since we were able to see the reveal for Necronominus on Friday morning on YouTube with everybody else, and then Saturday, or actually Friday night, we were able to see some of the prototypes being put up already. So that was a pretty quick turn from reveal to seeing prototypes in hand.
Dude, I tell you, I'm not a real fan of the elves, but
Yeah.
the builders that are on the Big Bad Toy Store for the game, the tactics,
Oh yeah, the game ones.
though the male one looks really nice, dude.
They
Has the
do,
one
and
with
just
the
like the
the green
orcs, they come
face,
with a ton of good parts.
dude. The green face armored helmet head, dude. That
Yeah.
looks awesome. Really good. It's really good.
Like, while I don't collect the elf factions heavily at all, actually, I don't have very many. I have like 3 elves, I think, in my entire collection. They're pretty cool, and I've seen some like army little setups where they have like 20 or 30 of them, and it looks amazing. Like, it looks pretty fucking awesome.
Dude, those dark elves. The dark elves look really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, the only elf I have is the Malachi Cinderhorn, the leader of the Dark Elves, and then Artemis. But regular builders, no, unless we count vampires, which in this case we're not counting vampires, since we already covered vampires. And despite them being connected to the elves in Mythos, we're not gonna be covering that extensively into vampires. But Like we said, today's episode is going to be covering the elves, and we'll talk about that here. When we start, we're going to cover the race, some of the offshoots or subspecies, and then we're going to go through the list of elves, and that's going to cover fairies as well and everything like that. And we're going to cover which factions they belong to, what unique parts they have, and how much they go for. Take into consideration the prices were based on eBay prices at the end of October, beginning of November. So those prices have changed a little bit. So like add $20 to $30 approx to each in some cases, especially on named characters. But what was some highlights for you for the con? What do you think?
I liked I I I really like the whole Mythic Legions community. Everybody's cool. Everybody's willing to help each other out for the most part. Um, the only thing I didn't like was that line situation that they had.
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
line was a little intense. The lines overall. Like I felt like our weekend had a lot of waiting in lines.
Yes.
Well, that's the only reason I did. I was gonna go live more, but the only reason
Yeah,
why I didn't was because it was like 3.5 hours of waiting in line. You know.
right. Like you would have gone live, hey, check this out, y'all, we're in line. And then like an hour later, hey, we're still in line. 3 hours later, guess what?
Right.
Fucking in line.
Yeah, I kind of
Yeah.
went through, was live, went through and showed what was on people's tables, some of the customs, but there was just like literally too much to focus on. Like if I
Yeah.
could have just sat at M Creations table all day and just looked at all his stuff, I probably could have made a good bunch of content out of that. But like, there was just too
Three
many,
and a
you
half
know.
hours.
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of super talented people there, and their tables they were showing off some fantastic work. Like the people that brought entire displays with them, whole sets. They had like 20, 30 figures on some of them just being
So it wasn't
displayed.
just
They're not
Mythic
selling
Legions.
shit. No, no, they were just customs. They brought with them to show off. Like
Oh,
instead of
that's
showing you
cool.
pictures, they brought their actual figures. And
Yeah.
they're like,
That's
here you
cool.
go, check this shit out.
So they just let cats
So,
come up there and fucking like, hey, this is what I do. This is what I make.
yeah. Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
man,
And
that's
like
cool.
some people were buying customs, like, hey, how much do you want for this thing? I love it. All
But
right, and
some
then they
companies ain't
figure
cool
out.
about that shit, man.
No, people were. Oh, there were so many 3D creators there that make parts that for Legions and Legion adjacent ancillary lines. They had a bunch of third-party creators that are making like in essence competition lines for Legions, but not really.
And they're
Like
cool
they
with that.
had, yeah, they had Animal Warriors of the Kingdom there, and they were showing off their figures, their prototypes. They had Plunderlings there showing off product, selling product there. They had a bunch of guys there, yeah,
I
and it
finally
was
got me one.
nice. You got a Plunderling?
Yep.
Nice.
Eddie,
Which
Eddie
one?
just mailed it to me.
The
Which one you
cheddar?
think? Which one?
Cheddar?
Yeah, exactly. He gave me a good
Nice,
fucking
good,
price on it, man.
very good. Cheddar's a fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
He better not open up a fucking door. I'll tell you that much.
it would probably. Like, Dioforge was saying, like, he got two of them
Dude, I
when they were
can't just.
going on sale.
I just can't see dropping
And
$40 on that motherfucker, dude.
I know, it's a little
I
much.
yeah, I would have bought one if there would have been like 30, 29.
See, that's what he
Yeah,
hit me with at 30, so I went ahead and picked it up.
yeah, 30 is a good deal for them. 30 is a great deal.
Yeah.
But even at 40, fuck it, I'm still buying them. As
Yeah,
long
I
as
buy them
I
this morning.
don't have to hurry. Like if they're available plentiful and I can buy two at a time or three every paycheck, that's fine. I'll try to do that. Two, probably best.
Yeah.
I
But
just like little knick-knack shit like that.
they're fun. Lots of character in them. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
you get
really
three
fun.
head. You get a lot though. You get three heads. You get two sets of hands.
Yeah, a little amount of accessories depending on which one.
Yeah.
You get either sword or bat or bone,
But I guess I mean you got to take into
binoculars.
They're not fucking Hasbro. They're not selling off of numbers. They're making money, profit
Definitely
off of
not
per
Hasbro.
figure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
they're
these
not
are
doing
not gonna be at
quantities.
stores.
But still,
Like,
dude,
I'd love to one day see them at Target for like $20, but I just don't see them being done that way
I would get a
right
divorce
now.
at that point.
Well, I mean, if they were at Target for 20 bucks at this kind of quality, yeah, I'd love to. I'd buy so many of them, but that's not gonna happen anytime soon.
Anyway, I'm off subject.
They also had what Defenders of Eden. They showed those off. Those are going to be Mythic adjacent as well. These are robot or not robot. They're dinosaurs, dinosaur characters, and they look pretty fucking awesome. The first wave was sculpted by the Four Horsemen as well. Uh, who else they showed? There were a bunch of, like we said, 3D creators there that had they make parts for Legions and Cosmic now. That had booths, and they were showing off a lot of their custom work, and a lot of their stuff was for sale as well. One of the ones we saw that I thought was really creative and really cool was Immortal Collections.
I was
He
just thinking
was
that.
doing
Literally just
parts.
thinking that.
Yeah, dude, the parts he was making and how he was like kit bashing and
You
building
were taking
cosmic
the
stuff.
he was taking the
Yeah,
1.0 thigh piece, just the thigh piece, and he was 3D printing like a bottom leg and then like a torso that it plugged into, and he made like a four-legged like Halo creature is the only thing I could
yeah,
think of.
like aliens.
Like a Halo alien. They're really cool, dude.
And like he had that giant ogre one with the four legs and
Yeah.
four arms, and it looked incredible. And it had like LED laser cannons. It was all fucking awesome.
Just some
But a
3D
lot of cool
printing.
stuff. Yeah, yeah. He 3D printed torsos and headpieces,
Do
and
not
then
get me
attached
into
them
another
to
fucking line.
parts.
Do not get me into another
That's
fucking
what's
line.
nice about it is that with the printed parts, there's a lot of room for creativity, especially with the
Well, he was
plug and
doing that. He
play
was
nature
doing
of them.
that. Yeah, he was doing that so he could use your Mythic Legion stuff parts
Yeah.
for Cosmic Legion builds.
You know
Right?
who else does good fucking Mythic Legions third party parts?
Huh.
I'm keeping this even though I'm getting rid of the fucking body I bought it for. Or
Oh,
I got it
nice.
for.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Haha.
That's a good head.
Fucking steam powered
Yeah,
mum in this bitch.
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Yeah, dude. That's pickle.
Sup, Dial Forge? Sup, I'm reloading.
Oh, what's up, guys?
You can see comments?
Thanks for
Yeah,
joining
thanks, man.
us. Yeah, you gotta click on comments on the side. It'll
Thanks
show
for
you.
stopping by, bud.
All I see is
Yeah,
my
dude.
ugly ass face twice on the side.
Have yeah, thanks for stopping by, reloading.
Yeah.
So it showed us that like not only is the community less toxic, right? In the legions. I mean, first of all, there was a whole convention that was centric to the line, and its sidelines that are like adjacent to it or close enough, that could mesh with it. There was a lot of acceptance as far as like getting new creators in there, like Animal Warriors and the Plunderlings people. So that was kind of exciting to see. Like I wouldn't think Hasbro would do that. Later, reloading. I
See you,
don't think
bud.
Hasbro would ever allow
Yeah.
something like that to happen. They're not gonna let Valiverse in at HasbroCon. Right?
Right.
So it showed a different type of collector for sure. And like we met a bunch of people. Not all of them were in the Cabal even. Like there were some people in the Cabal, a lot of them weren't, or some weren't, and whichever they were pleasant, and we had a really good time interacting with them. So, so I had a good time. I wasn't disappointed in the trip. Some parts of the town sucked, but that's not legionscon's fault. You know what I mean? That's Jersey's fault overall.
Oh,
But
yeah.
we even had Amish donuts, dude. How awesome was that?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it was a good time. So legionscon 2022 was a success. legionscon 2023, looking forward to. Hopefully we can do it better, smarter, harder, stronger, more erect. What? Dark Force saying, unpopular opinion, Legion Santa can eat a dick. He's unhappy
Oh,
with it. They ate Santa. Yeah.
lots of weird choices
He's
with that one.
Yeah.
there's some weird turns on that.
One of the
We're
things
gonna talk about Santa for sure. Yeah.
one of the things I liked was getting to see y'all, bringing you back here, and
Absolutely.
getting to see like Pablo and some Rivers and people that
Yeah.
I know from Instagram that I've never seen in person. So that was fun too.
No, fuck it, dude. And speaking of, Pablo was gonna be with us on this episode, but he had some stuff to do this weekend because we've been trying to organize to get everything rolling for this episode. But uh, next episode, hopefully, we might be able to get Pablo on. But meeting Pablo in person, it was pretty awesome. But like Eddie was saying, we did the road trips, we had the donuts, we had the Phillies, went to the comic shops, met the people, waited in lines.
It
Yeah,
was fun.
it was.
Lots of line waiting.
Lots, so many fucking lines. And then at the end of all of it, we went back to the airport to leave and waited in lines some more, and then we're finally on the airplane going home. So lots of waiting, god damn it.
Yeah.
But good shit. It was a good time. Uh, all the people we met in line as well. I really appreciated meeting everybody. Uh, we handed out a ton of stickers. We handed out a ton of prints to people. We even met one cool dude at our hotel, like at the end of the night. Like I think it was like 1 o'clock. We're having a smoke before going in. After we got lost and ended up in New York, we ended up giving him a bunch of prints
On a
too.
beer run. On a fucking
Yeah,
beer run.
it was a good time, man. It was fun. It was fucking fun. So it was good shit.
Oh, we went to New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next year, hopefully, we can actually go to New York City and do shit
Yeah.
instead of just going there accidentally and getting lost and seeing a car that was blown up.
That
That
was
shit was
bizarre,
sketch.
wasn't it?
That
That
Oh, I
was
was
forgot
Jersey
about
fucking
that.
City.
sketch as shit. Yeah.
Damn, I forgot about that.
So good.
Oh
But
wait, I have video of it. I think I have to look back.
oh, of the blown up car.
I took video out the car window for like a while of everything in New York City. I'll have to find it.
Now, one of the things that came, like, we
Oh, send
discovered
it back.
that while making the list of all the characters was that shit, just because we don't collect the humans and elves necessarily, it doesn't mean there aren't a lot of them. So we've come to find out that there's quite a few. Some of the most recent ones that come to mind is Artemis Silvercord 2, that was in the Lithia wave, as well as Bardrick, who was also in the Lithia wave. Those guys are not human, but they're kind of human-looking motherfuckers.
So don't crucify me when I say this. Is this like Lord of
Yes,
the Rings?
kind of, kind of. Like if you imagine it if close to anything,
Similar
it would be
aesthetic,
Lord of the
different
Rings,
story.
yeah, Lord of the Rings, sword and sorcery fantasy. Uh, what is close to it? Shit. Yeah, yeah, sword and sorcery fantasy, Lord of the Rings. Uh, Not a lot. I wouldn't say not a lot of Game of Thrones. There aren't any siblings having sex with each other in this one.
That you know of.
Yeah. That I know of, that's true. And so far, we haven't seen many dragons. There's just been dick teasing about dragons, but we haven't seen
If you
dragons.
had dragons, that'd be in.
Yeah. Well, obviously, of course. Now, it does have what seems to be White Walkers revealed during the Necronominus wave. There's
What do
zombies,
they look like?
there's skeletons. Uh, there's quite a few different monster classification, I guess, races. There's demons, orcs. Do we have lizard people yet? I don't know. We have space lizard people. We don't have
If you get
regular
lizard
Earth.
people, that's off the deep end.
Yeah, we have space. We don't have we have regular astronauts. We don't have ancient astronauts yet, but it's probably being done. And like and Anunnaki and whatnot. Hopefully we get the whole lineup. But we're getting there. Uh, so going into the elves. So if we want to open up here and kind of start talking here about the race for this episode. So we're
Got Will
taking all
Ferrell though.
this from the Source Horseman page, and you can find that at sourcehorseman.com under the blog, and this is under the races of Mythos, the elves. So here we go. A popular fixture across almost every fantasy property from A Midsummer Night's Dream to Tolkien to Dungeons and Dragons. It was only a matter of time before the fair folk found their way into mythic legions. The diversity of the elves. From the early days of this line, elves were one of the figures requests we most frequently heard from fans. While it took a few series for us to introduce this race into the realm of mythos, they made their debut in the advent of Decay Wave. When they did finally make an appearance, they did so with a very significant showing. This was obviously intentional, as we wanted to showcase the incredible diversity of this race. The bio for Miria Golden Branch makes note of this diversity, stating that the various types of elves in Mythos are as diverse as the many trees that provide them quiet sanctuary. Let's look at subraces of elves that populate Mythos. So, it already talks about about subgroups in the fair folk or the fairies or the elves or the magical fucking beings.
It's a legit
Fairy
question.
elf.
Are all these
Yes.
guys in like fucking war with each other?
So the four main good factions are kind of allied together against the four main bad factions. And there are two non-affiliated factions. One is kind of good neutral, and the other one is bad neutral. So far. So most of the fairies fall into one of the good guy factions, I guess we would call them, and that's Xylona's flock. KJ, thanks for joining us, buddy. Yo, I just
How
woke
did,
up in a theater watching Avatar 2. He was abducted and taken to watch Avatar 2.
Sleepwalking.
that
Yeah.
motherfucker
Yeah,
be falling asleep everywhere?
I know. He just
Narcolepsy.
goes places to sleep.
Must have
How
been
do you see the
sleepwalking.
chat
That's
though?
walking
Like
to the theater.
On the
last time I
comments
tried
on
to
the
see the
side.
chat, I ended up out of the fucking video.
No, no, on the side, do you see next to the screen where it shows us? It shows
On
comments
the
or
on the
private chat.
side, I see my face. Plus, you're in the show. Everyone can see and hear you.
Oh, that's because you have it. If you turn it the other way, you'll probably see it.
Oh, right, you're on the phone, that's why, yes.
Nope,
Yeah, I
still
don't
nothing.
know where it looks like on the
Oh,
phone. You have to
oh,
maybe
okay.
tap the screen and it might show up. Now let's see. Fairy elf. Fairy elves are clearly distinguishable from other elves because of their large, shimmering wings. The leader of Xylona's flock, Artemis Silvercord, is the lone fairy elf that has been released in Mythic Legions to date. So right now they tell us that the shimmering wings is the identifying mark for these fairy elf types. And Artemis is the only one. So Artemis 1 has the big fairy wings, and they're pretty cumbersome, and you can't really post shit because they're in the
Yeah.
way.
They look awkward.
Yeah. Artemis 2 comes with the folded in fairy wings, and I think that looks a lot better. But I'd still need to get Artemis 1 because she looks pretty cool and unique, especially with the bigger headdress, and her eyes are not green all the way. They're actually has white pupils. She looks slightly different than the new one. Now, next up is the Wood Elves. Wood Elves are the most common elf subrace in Mythic Legions, seen in both lighter and darker complexions. Lord Aristaeus Adon is the ancient Wood Elf, and the Elf Legion Builder figure comes with a pair of heads, which showcase the variations in Wood Elf complexions. The Elf Ranger, which comes with a hooded and unhooded head, is also a Wood Elf character. So they introduced Lord Adon, and then the Elf Legion Builder, and then the Ranger. It talks about the fact that elves come in different skin colors, and it talks about wood elves being the most common. Whisperlings. The elves of Whispervale, or Whisperlings as they are known, are one of the most elusive of all of the elven subraces. In addition to their common elvish abilities, such as agelessness and heightened dexterity and speed, the Whisperlings are remarkably proficient in the use of an arcane magic that harnesses the power of the trees around them. Maria Goldenbranch is a Whisperling defender who has been sent to aid her elven brethren, Artemis Silvercord. The aforementioned Elf Legion builders figures also come with a Whisperling head, allowing you to create a force to accompany Maria on her mission. So now we learn of the Whisperlings, and these are the green-skinned elves. Maria Goldenbranch is one of the named characters of the Whisperlings, the green-skinned elves here.
Is it okay if I interject something out of topic?
Sure.
Where is your comical whip, sir?
Well, here, this part, we're reading the story first. Yeah, we
Okay,
haven't
well,
talked about.
I'll
Yeah,
hold on.
once we
I'll hold
start
on to
covering
that.
the characters and we start covering the prices, that's where the comedy will come up.
I came in for the vile.labs comedy.
Shit.
Sorry.
Now, the next set are the Frost Elves. According to the bio, the lone Frost Elf released in the line so far, Talon Frostbow. Frost elves are so isolated and insular that many in the southern regions of Mythos have never seen one and have only heard stories about this elusive subrace of elvenkind. The talent figure included a second helmeted head, allowing you to army build Frost elves if you choose, or simply add a second Frost elf to accompany Talon on her quest, as shown below. So now we have two uh, Frost elves, not just Thalon, but showing you the secondary head that it comes with to show you, like, if you wanted to army build them. If these were just coming out now, yes, I would have bought multiple in order to have a few Frost Elves to go with her. Since they're hard to come by now, I'm happy to have one and display it as Talon and be good. Also, I can see the pink of the foam right here on the Dio and the magnet right here. And I'm
Are there
just
any
saying,
plans?
Dio
Oh,
Forge
sorry.
wouldn't do this on his dios. You wouldn't be able to see these pieces if you bought a
Are
Dio
there any
Forge Dio.
plans of like a Dungeons and Dragons style game for this, or do you know?
So there is a video game now in late development. I think it's almost launch time, Mythic Legion's Tactics, but it is like, as far as like gameplay, it's like what, RTS, I guess, is closest. It's like strategy,
It does seem right up
almost.
that alley.
Yeah, but it is looking a lot better than initially how it was when it went up for Kickstarter. Now it's looking pretty nice. They had some uh, demos at the show available, and it looked pretty nice. Now, these are the Shadow Elves. If elves represent the purest of bloodlines and vampires are a spoiled distortion of them, then Shadow Elves dwell somewhere in the murky middle of the two, with both the elegance and power of the elves and the savagery and bloodlust of the vampires. The Shadow Elves should not be underestimated or trifled with. So these are the dark blue skin motherfuckers, and they are mainly in the Poxus Legion. The ominous passage was included with the bio of the king of the Shadow Elves, Malachi Cinderhorn. That bio goes on to state that Malachi harbors an underlying jealousy of elves that feeds on an intense hatred of all elvenkind, and especially for their queen, Artemis Silvercord. According to the text, the blue-skinned shadow elves are outside of the other elven subraces in Mythos, led by their spiteful king. Accompanying Malachi in the line are the shadow elf warriors, which came with a pair of heads to allow fans to build their legion. So it had a few heads: ranger, armored, helmeted, and unhelmeted, to show their hair and let it flow. So you can have like different builds, and all obviously the Legion builders are different bodies than Malachi. Malachi has different gauntlets and different legs and overall touch-ups on the paint should differently. And of course he has the unique head. More elven subraces. While the elves of Mythos are already the most diverse race we have introduced into the line, we have only begun to scratch the surface of the various Fey subraces. You can expect there to be more representations of elven kind making their way into the realm of Mythos in the years to come. In the meantime, you can see a family portrait of the heroic elven subraces to date below. So here they show you some of the uh, Legion builders: Myria Golden Branch, Adon, Artemis, the Elven Ranger, Thalin, and a Frost Elf. This is before they had Bardric and Artemis 2 available. Now, since the beginning of the line, the Legions has drawn from all sorts of common fantasy races to populate the realm of Mythos. While they put their own spin on whatever they do, you can certainly find orcs, elves, goblins, dwarfs, and the fantasy setting outside of the mythic legions. There are, however, some characters we have introduced whose races are unique to the realm of Mythos. Those are the original exotic subraces and half-breeds which make the realm that much more diverse and rich. So we talked about whisperlings and Myria being a whisperling and what makes them different. They have control over the environment, the trees around them, and nature. And they're green-skinned as opposed to the dark elves that are blue-skinned, and the regular ass elves that are white-skinned or brown-skinned or regular ass human skin tone color. Now, let's see. The Whisperlings are fairly well represented in the Legion line. The first ones that we saw, which were the content was taken from, was Myria Golden Branch. The Noble Defender's bio states that she was sent with an army of Whisperling soldiers to aid Queen Artemis with a mission to surprise the dark forces that threaten all of Elvenkind. So she controls all of them. The Ilmengeist kind of look like they're elves, but they're not really elves, and we covered them when we talked about the creatures of Mythos. Same with the Ubir, Vulgir, Vargor, and the vampires. Grisha, we still don't know what Grisha is. She's probably a lizard person or a snake person, but we don't have to know. Aza, Spherebinder, we don't know her either, and we covered those. Now, this is where we go to the somewhat more exciting part as far as seeing where we're at. You're a new Legion collector. You want to know, okay, so how should I go about getting these? I want to get all the, all the elves. What is this going to cost me? How many arms? How many legs? How are we going to go about getting them, right? So we're gonna cover the factions that have the elves or the Fae in general, and then we're gonna go through the list, talk about a little bit about the unique parts that they come with, how much they're going for in the secondary market, and what's the best way to go about doing it. Should you buy it? Should you wait for an all-star release, or should you just try to make one and be happy? So, starting through Zelona's Flock, this assembly of fighters gain their power from and help protect the elements of nature that give life to the people in Mythos. The Flock opposes and counteracts the vampiric elements in Ilithia's brood, which seeks to drain the life force out of the world around them. Their close ties to nature and the purity of the Flock keeps them connected to the great beasts and beings of the old world, granting them a certain reverence and a measure of celebrity in the modern age. So here we go. Here we start. We're starting with Artemis Silvercord. Faction Zelona's Flock. She's a fairy elf, warrior queen, released in Advent of Decay, and comes with the Silvercord bow, quiver, arrow, elven short sword, dagger, the green dick's flaps, and wings. The full-on wings. Additional heads she does not come with. The crown has often weighed heavily on the brow of Artemis Silvercord, the leader of Zelona's Flock, orphaned at the hands of the vampire assassins when she was 5 years old. She was raised by her uncle, Aristeas, and her minotaur protector, Asterion. This regal warrior has spent a lifetime training to protect her people and uphold her family's legacy. Leading her faction and serving as queen have given Artemis a wisdom that belies her young age, and although she is tough, she has been hardened by battle. Her vibrant optimism and her vision of a world free of war and despair remain an inspiration to us all. Goddamn right. So, here's some shots of Artemis. Like I said, she comes with the full-on fairy wings, and in this version, she has the golden torso armor. Both of her arms are exposed at the top, regular gauntlets, the golden ones, big crown made with like elk horns almost, but not quite. And she looks really nice. Green pants and dix flaps and skirts, soft goods back skirt. And she comes with the silver cord. Now, this version of Artemis, the unique parts, obviously her head and the wings. Otherwise, you can kit bash and paint your way into the rest. And you just need green fabric, of course, too. Now, here, looking at the price, looking at, like I said, Advent of Decay, she was released. She has not had an All-Stars release, so she hasn't been re-released. Let's see, she goes for about 100 right now. So overall, not terrible, honestly. 100 for her, and she comes in the deluxe packaging. To backtrack and get something from Advent of Decay that far back, and for a named character like her, 100 is not terrible. Or
So
you can, yes, go ahead.
since I'm the new guy for all the new guys,
Right.
why is she 100?
So she was released a few years back, so she's older. So you can't just go on Big Bad and find her in stock and order and get her.
And what are retail normally for?
Retails for about probably 50. Probably retails for 50, so she's gone up $50. That's not
So
terrible
these
over a
hit pretty
few
well on the
years.
fucking secondary market. Is what you're getting at.
Generally speaking, most legions do pretty well on the secondary market, and for the most part, stabilize and hold value. So that's a nice
Yep.
part about it, about the line, or at least
So if you want to
comforting.
get in, get them when they come out. Basically,
pretty
100%.
much. Or
100%.
you have a chance that they might release something in an All Stars wave if they
Right.
haven't released it already in an All Stars wave. So
then I should have kept my pre-order then. All right, that was only my question.
Yeah. Now, in some cases, we'll have a second version being made, a V2 being made. In this case, so Artemis Silver Cord 2 was recently released during the Ilithia wave. So this is we're looking at next is Artemis Silver Cord 2. So she is still Zalona's flock, fairy elf princess. Ilithia, she was released in the Ilithia wave. She hasn't had All Stars released because she was just released. She comes with a silver cord bow, quiver, arrow, short elven sword, no additional heads. The road to being crowned queen of Zelona has been anything but straight to Princess Artemis Silvercord. The mounting pressure of royal responsibility and public scrutiny have chipped away at the warrior in training's young and impetuous spirit. The discovery of the Soul Spiller and Ilya's impending return have now thrust upon Artemis a renewed sense of dedication to her role as a leader of mythos, as well as the willingness to step up and take action. As a fairy elf, Artemis must now rely more than ever on the strengths and powers of both her elven and fairy ancestry to bring her courage in this darkest of hours. So taking a look at the Artemis 2, we see here that now she doesn't have the golden armor on the torso. She's wearing a leather armored torso. What is a copper armored arm on the left, exposed on the right. She has the silver cord still with her, and she has a new pauldron design with the Zelona faction on it. She comes with complete cloth dix flaps and skirt, which is a nice new addition. Different changes from version 1 is her crown is smaller, less crazy, and then her eyes are completely green now and no longer white with like distinct pupils. And
So,
if we look
quick
at the,
question:
yeah,
How many factions are there currently right now?
4 good guys, 4 bad guys, 2 unaffiliated, so 10.
10? Okay.
Yeah. And then 2 Equadrons, Ice Troll, and the Figure Obscuras, and that are factionless.
So 14?
Eh, 10, I'd say 10, and then miscellaneous factions, or miscellaneous
Alright.
non-factioned. Yeah. So since that release, so also another thing, Artemis Silver Cord 2 is a princess, right? And her crown is small. Artemis Silver Cord 1 is a queen, and her crown is huge. So that's probably one of the bigger differences in why that looks like that. And one of
Is
them
that
has
the
small
same
wings, and
lady
one of them
though?
has. It's the same lady, yeah. She just had.
So
This
she
one is
went
the
from
older
princess to
version.
queen.
So the first version of her is the later version of her, I guess, when she's queen.
Okay.
I still like Artemis Silver Cord 2 more.
She upgraded.
Yeah. So because she's still new during and was released with the Alithia wave, she's still retail, $50. You can find her. So as long as and then the ISS hasn't happened yet, so still 50 is a good deal. 50. Next is the deluxe female elf Legion builder. So this character is with Zalona's flock, the affiliation or the faction. This was released or is going to release with the Mythic Legion's Tactics War of the Aetherblade private crowdfunding campaign. So it's a Kickstarter release. It comes to Elf Shield, Short Bow, Quiver, Arrow, Zweihander Sword, Elf Short Sword, Khopesh Sword, Elf Twin Bladed Sword, 2 sets of pauldrons, 2 fold armors, 2 loin pieces, 2 torsos. Comes with 4 heads, hooded female head, normal female elf head, brown hair, 2 bucket helmets, an elf full helmet, plus a bonus head available in the first run of these only. Since this is a Legion builder, it doesn't have a bio. So taking a look at the character. So again, this is the female elf builder that came with the Kickstarter, the game. So these haven't been released yet. The backer kit hasn't been sent out yet. They're still waiting on the Gorgo 2-pack to send out these. You might be able to get them on Big Bad if anybody cancels their pre-orders, or if they're still up for pre-order. I'm not really sure. I don't remember.
No, I was just
You get
checking.
a
They're sold
ton.
out.
They're sold out. Okay.
Yep.
You get a ton of parts. That's the really cool part about these game ones, is they come with a shit ton of extra parts. So 2 skirt pieces, 2 dix flaps, 2 torsos, 4 pauldrons, belts,
And that's an accessory
swords.
pack?
No, this all comes with the figure. This is all
Oh,
extra
okay.
with the figure, with the base figure. Yeah, so you get this body right here that they're showing, plus all these other parts. So you can pop off that armored torso, put this one on instead.
It's a good fucking deal.
It's a great deal. And these were 50 through the Kickstarter. They're 75 retail. And this is the Kickstarter exclusive helmet, I believe, the one with the high detail on it. It's all green. So these should be coming out Q1, I believe, of next year. This is the deluxe male elf builder. Same deal with it's coming out with the Legion's Tactics. Comes with longbow, quiver, arrow, sword, knight sword and sheath, mace, head with banner, stand handle, large elven sword, elf axe, knight shield, 2 sets of pauldrons, 1 fold, 2 loin pieces, 2 torsos, 4 heads, hooded elf, normal elf, open face, full face, plus the Kickstarter exclusive. Here is the uh, regular elf head. Kind of looks like Adon, but green, like Whisperling. Then here's all the parts. Dix flaps, torso, bunch of weapons, 1 skirt piece, 2 pauldrons, bunch of heads. Got Whisperling, Legion, regular elf Legion, multiple options for display. So this one is the same deal, 50 through the Kickstarter, 75 on the retail. Now these guys, they still haven't received a what is it called? A reinforcement release. So we will be getting these hopefully in the reinforcements on the cheap since it's a Legion builder, 25 bucks cheap. That's how much generally they were on the pre-order. So these are the Legion builders. They're part of the Xylonis flock. They are elves, whisperlings, and all sorts of fae. Roll as soldiers. These are parts of Advent of Decay. They were released. They haven't had a re-release, like we said. They come with sword, dagger, bow, quiver, arrow, and spear. They come with 3 heads, 1 helmet with an open face, light skin, 1 with dark skin, and a fully helmeted one with the green skin of the Whisperling Elves on the ears. Because the builder does not come with a bio. So this is all you get with the set. So the 3 heads. So this fully armored one has the green ears for Whisperling. Comes with a white guy face elf and a black guy face elf. The spear, the regular sword, short sword, quiver, and bow. So these were, or at the moment, you can find for approx 60 bucks. Around 60 bucks is a good deal. Next up, Elf Ranger. So this is Alone's flock. They're elf. Obviously, they're a fucking ranger, like we said. They came out of Advent of Decay, have not had a second release. Come with the sword, dagger, bow, quiver, arrow, green cape. Comes with, yes, a hooded and unhooded elf head. These are builders, so no bios either. So, this is what you get with it. So it comes with no hood or hood. And yes, that looks like Legolas. He has the quiver and bow, dagger, and sword. This one is actually a really nice one. I would get this one if given the chance, especially to get this armor. That way I can make some goblins with this armor too, if I can shorten the fucker. That'd be really nice. So the ranger, or the Legolas one, you know, because you can give him the bow and arrow here with this head, good to go. This guy is for about 140. The unique parts, as we can see, is that the heads. Now, next up is Adon, this handsome fella, part of Zelona's flock, wood elf, and he's an advisor. He came out during Advent of Decay, has not had a secondary release, comes with a longsword, elven shield with handle sword, longbow, quiver, arrow, doesn't have additional heads. An ancient wood elf for the first age, Lord Arstasius Adon serves as a stern and wise advisor to Queen Artemis Silvercord. When Artemis was orphaned in her formative years, it was her uncle Arstasius that stepped up to fulfill the role of surrogate parent. Although his disposition is icy and his teachings are strict, Lord Adon's love for Artemis is revealed by the fiery manner in which he protects his queen and her beloved people. So this is what your boy Arstasius looks like. He doesn't look too bad. He has really nice armor, brown leather with the armor, and the green armor bits as well. Really nice. Has the long bow, quiver, and short sword and regular ass sword. So he looks cool. And Adon goes for about 100, which not terrible for an Advent of Decay wave. So as far as unique parts, his head. That's the most unique of the parts that you're going to work with. Now, next we have Lord Bardrick. Lord Bardrick came out during the Alithia wave. He is part of the Zelonos flock, an elf lord. Comes with his Zweihander sword, elven axe, short bow, quiver, arrow. Doesn't have additional heads. The return of the Soul Spiller to Alithia and her faction of vampire children have created great unrest in the realm of Zelonia. As lord of the fabled Harvest Court, Lord Bardrick Autumnborn is bringing forth his army of forest dwellers to Castle Silverhorn's aid. Located deep within the woods of Ambrion, the Harvest Court is a mystical gathering of ancient warriors dedicated to protecting the lands of Zelonia. Lord Bardrick's wisdom, knowledge, and soft-spoken kindness are an asset to Artemis that is only matched by his skill with his mighty axe. So he was released during the Alithia wave, so he's still fairly new. You can get him for retail for 50 bucks. And we'll take a look at him. The unique parts are the head. He does have a unique chest plate for now. We haven't seen it in other ones. And he has these beefy, big pauldrons. So this is what he looks like. He's a really nice figure in hand. He was the only one I didn't pre-order, and then I did purchase whenever we were at the show. I just bought him off the table, and I'm glad I did, because he's really nice. Really nice head sculpt as well. So like I said, he goes for your retail price at the moment. Now, next up, we are going to talk about Miria Goldenbranch. She is part of Zillow's flock, Whisperling Defender. Came out during Advent of the Decay, has not had her second release. Comes with sword, dagger, wooden shield with handle, no secondary heads. The unique part of her is the head. The various types of elves in mythos are as diverse as the many trees that provide them quiet sanctuary. The elves of Whispervale, or Whisperlings, are one of the most elusive of all the elven subraces, as we said. In addition to their common elvish abilities such as agelessness and heightened dexterity and speed, the Whisperlings are remarkably proficient in the use of the arcane magic that harnesses the powers of the trees around them. So Maria Goldenbranch is one of these folks. Maria Goldenbranch has been sent with an army of Whisperling soldiers to aid Queen Artemis with a mission to surprise the dark forces that threaten all of mankind. So taking a look at her, she has the really nice green and blue armor, and she has the orange Styx flaps similar to Faunus, and has that nice head, which is unique to her, and that shield, which I like the green and bronze colorway on it.
Really nice.
Really nice, it is. And she goes for about $85, $90 right now, right? Which is not awful overall.
I never got her.
Yeah, she does look nice. Next up, one of my favorite ones is Talon Frostbow. Part of Zelona's flock, Frost Elf. She's a bowcaster. Released during the Soul Spiller, Talon was also offered as an early release at ZoloCon 2019. Comes with a short bow, quiver, arrow, dwarven short sword, axe, fur cape. And she has a alternate fully armored head. As one of the only survivors of the siege of Sjelgard, Talon Frostbow is on a mission to alert the world that the legendary vampire weapon known as the Soul Spiller has been retaken. This fabled bowcaster is a frost elf, a culture so isolated and insular that many in the southern regions have never seen one and have only heard stories about her people. As she travels alongside Ragna Stormforger, Talon's mission takes her to parts of mythos that are so foreign and so beyond the realm of her limited experience that she can barely contain her enthusiasm and wonder. So now you see, Eddie, why I wanted a Ragna, because she's her travel companion.
Yeah.
Talon
That's a
looks
good
pretty
figure,
fucking
though.
badass.
You
She
got it,
is.
right? Did you get that one?
Yes, I did. I got her
I
as
was
soon as we
easy.
got back from the show because I didn't find her at the show.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So
I
she's
wouldn't mind
really
that.
nice.
Yeah, she's a nice one.
I even got her one of those white D20 D20 Studio Wolves to ride
Oh,
because
cool.
she needs a fancy ass ride.
Yeah, for a fancy ass lady.
Yeah. Talon Frostbow is 130 bucks
Yeah.
about. Yeah, she is not cheap.
No.
Next up, we're talking about the Zilurian Guard. Comes with various races, so not just Whisperling, not human, not elf, not wood elf, all kinds. Comes with multiple heads. So roll Guardians, part of the All-Star 5 plus wave. Long elven comes with long elven bow, quiver, arrow, long elf sword, shield with Zillow's flock faction emblem. Comes with 2 heads, one with lighter flesh color and one in Whisperling green, plus 2 different removable armored faceplates. The biography says the Zilurian Guard are charged with protecting the borders of Zilleria, stationed at outposts across that great kingdom. These soldiers are comprised of the subraces of elves found throughout Zylona's flock. Amongst their ranks that can be found wood elves, whisperlings, ghost elves. Here's a new faction that we haven't seen any of, ghost elves, and other members of this fey race. The Zilurian guards are each given a golden shield bearing the visage of the great beast from which their faction is named. These shields mark their standing in the army of Xylona and help the Zilarian Guard maintain their vigilant watch as they shield their beloved kingdom from the evils that wish to see it destroyed. Now, it also comes with a soft goods Dix flaps and the regular rubber Dix flaps. So looking at it, it's a really nice figure, really nice combo of parts, and it has the new helmet with the removed faceplate and the faction shield. So like I said, this one is part of the All Stars 5, so it's still up for pre-order at retailers, about $50. And this one should be released, I don't know, Q2 next year maybe? Yeah, probably
That's the
Q2.
one that I thought would make a good Doctor Doom custom.
Yeah, this one is perfect for a Doctor Doom, dude. Yeah, good to go for that. Because you just have to swap out the head, maybe some parts here, and you're good. Done. Now, next up, we're going to jump factions. We're going to go to the next faction that contains some of the Fae, and that is the Convocation of Basilia. Masters of magical arts, these warriors were assembled to combat the evil that lies at the very center of the Circle of Paxos. The Convocation are the most mysterious of all heroic armies, and they are sometimes feared by the very ones they seek to protect. So here, the only one we really can kind of talk about is Azza, Sphere Binder. Part of the Convocation, Necromancer, and she's not really, her race hasn't been identified, right? So she's not necessarily a fairy, she's blue-skinned. We haven't seen any blue-skinned fairies, so is she a fairy? Not necessarily. She's one of the unidentified race ones, like Grisha. Ravina, we can't really talk about because she's human. Same thing goes for Hera and the two wizard dudes. Let's see. That's, I believe, the only ones we have for fairies, man. It's a very short list. Travis Wilcox, sorry, I didn't. Thank you for joining us. I didn't see your message.
That star at the bottom, that's the one y'all had me make on those fucking stickers and shit.
Yes, sir. That's the Sons of the Red Star. So these
I
two
know I seen that
factions are
somewhere.
unaffiliated. These two right here, the House of the Noble Bear and the Sons of the Red Star, are not affiliated. So the Sons of the Red Star are just mercenaries, right? And then the Noble Bear are just like good guys minding their own shit, minding their own business.
I still actually have a couple of those sitting over here in my folder.
Of the stickers?
Yeah,
Yeah, the
the
faction
star
symbols
guy.
are fun. Yeah. Yeah, these guys are fun.
I got excited. I was like, oh, I recognize that.
Travis Wilcox saying it's been so long that since he ordered the game figures that he can't even remember how many he ordered. Yesterday we were talking about it, me and Eddie, about the same thing. Eddie was saying he thinks he has 4. I believe I have 2 of the orcs. That's it. I didn't order any of the elves because
I had
I
two
don't.
two male orcs, 2 female orcs, 1 male elf builder. I can't wait for them.
I'm really excited about them and the Gorgo packs, but I only got 1 of the male orcs, 1 of the female orcs. I didn't want to go too crazy on those, especially with the $75 price tag. It's a bit much. But like I said, a good amount of parts, which is nice. That's the main draw. You know, is that it came with a lot of good parts. But a lot of it, like we said, a lot of it can be done with, like in most cases, you see the Steel Knight and the Iron Knight, I think it was, that had the right parts that you're gonna need, and some paint, and you can match up a lot of the armors for elves, right? Whether they're wood elves or, you know, whisperlings or even the golden ones, right? The builders, the Legion builders. It's mostly the heads is where you're gonna have a little bit of trouble getting the right heads to match up, like Miria, Adon, shit like that. Like Thalon, it's not gonna be easy either to do that, to copy that. But other than that, like the white on Talon's armor is pearlescent white, so that'd be a little hard to pull off on a paint, but not impossible again. And that's the nice part about Legions is that they're not impossible to kind of make your own version of it maybe, or source the parts and paint up a lot of these. And it's a big draw for them. That's why you can get Legion builders that are not painted completely and paint them yourself. You know, it's not the first toy line to do it, but it certainly is fun to do. You know, to do the
Or you
DIY
can go to
route.
Steam Powered
Hmm.
and get you some of these bomb ass motherfuckers right here.
I guess some custom work.
Mute.
Yeah, but that's a lot of, or that covers our elves in Mythos.
So is this the
Not as many at all as far as elves versus humans. But you know, it's still, if you think about it, you're still going to be legion building. So if you're going to have some dark elves, you're not just going to have Malachi and a dark elf. You're going to have a grip of them. You're going to want to build. You're going to have, you know, some rangers, some ones without the hoods, some with the hoods. You're gonna have the armored fuckers, the unarmored fuckers, open helmet, closed helmet. So you end up buying about like 20 dark elves, 20 regular elves, 20 Zilarian guards, and then that's how bankruptcy happens.
is this the part where we get to talk shit and have fun now?
Well, I mean, like it's always the part we could have always talked shit throughout the whole process. We didn't always have to be serious about it. Like I
Dude, you were
appreciate
fucking
that
lecturing,
everybody.
man. I didn't want to. I didn't
I
want to
know. I
interrupt you.
appreciate that we're able to get through the lore of it part, you know. But
Like you were fucking on a roll, dude. I thought I was in like college and shit.
like we're gonna have questions about it later. You know,
Dude,
we're
I
gonna
got
have questions
fucking
about it.
millions of questions.
Yeah, but I mean that's a big part of what differentiates heathens from highly posable is that heathens were kind of talking about a specific thing, like in an educational capacity slash how to bootleg your way through a good collection, kit bash it.
No, you're not bootlegging.
No,
You're
we're kit bashing in this
making
case.
customs for your own enjoyment.
Right, yeah. But
If you so happen to want one of these guys' works, then hit him up.
and you have seen like so far some of them we've talked about it in the Discord, and that on the aftermarket, some of them can become a little not only harder to attain, but a little out there with the pricing, right?
Yeah.
Some of
Not
them
like Mesco.
can be like 800 bucks, can go for 1,000 bucks. You know, it starts becoming a little much.
Hmm.
So that's when you tell the new collector, you're like, hey man, you don't have to go bankrupt in order to backtrack these. Like maybe wait on an all-star re-release, you know, or a V2, or
Yeah,
make
like
your
that
own.
Skeletor. That Skeletor I made, it cost me
Hmm.
like maybe $80 to make because it's the two different figures, and
Right,
then
instead of the
it would have been like,
400 to 500 they
yeah,
want.
Breast pan is fucking up.
Hmm. Because that's the thing is that, yes, would it be nice to be a completionist and have the full run? Yeah, it would be. But guess what? You would have had to be in on the original Kickstarter to do it the right way. Otherwise, you're
Be
doing
honest.
it
Show your
wrong.
living room.
Yeah.
Show your living room.
Show my living room? I can't. Like
Yeah,
the camera won't reach where they are.
well, we've seen it.
Yeah, the camera wouldn't reach where the legions are sitting, but it's a good amount of legions. Like I was telling them the other day, I was looking through and thought I didn't have a Krona displayed as a Krona, and I felt bad. But then I opened a tote and found a fresh Krona sitting there, still mint. So I'm
I
good.
think you have more legions than I have socks, and I have a lot of socks.
I think I have more legions than I have socks, and I have a lot of socks. I hope I have a lot more legions. Shit.
yeah. You have
But
quite a bit unopened too yet.
I know I still gotta open them, make sure everything is there. That's the part I stress out about.
What surprises me most is your wife hasn't killed you yet.
I know she should and like take all that money and sell them off. Should make some good
My
money.
wife gets mad when I leave my shoes in the wrong place on the floor.
See, I don't, but I don't. Though I put mine away, like my shoes, all the time.
But not the toys.
I'm not the one leaving that. Yeah. Toys are fucking everywhere, though. That's normal. That's like I've spent a couple weekends sorting through parts bins. That's it. Just parts. Like, oh, these are all guns. These are all swords. Like it's gonna take months to go through them. Fucking dumb. But so a nice part though that I mean, I don't know if it is a nice part. Parting out figures that we can go on eBay now and just buy parts that we need, right? We're able to buy, torsos, arms, the parts that we can't print. But now the people who are parting out are wanting like $30 for arms, which kind of defeats the purpose.
For horns?
Just
Like, have you seen the
yeah.
prices for parted out Legions? It's getting
Nah,
up there.
I haven't bought anything from anybody online. Any parts.
And some of the newer collectors, or not newer, like more of the more predatory, like the ones who came into flip.
Predatory.
Yeah.
There's a couple of those at LegionCon. There's a couple of those at
Oh
LegionCon.
yeah, there was.
I don't even know who
That
this
is
is.
an ugly part. Yeah.
I don't even know who this is.
That was an ugly part that we saw in legionscon was the flippers who were outright saying that they're here to buy stuff to flip.
Fuck scalpers.
Yeah, they were filling like little carts and telling us, "Oh, I don't even know who this character is. I'm just gonna list it."
We're radio flyer wagons full of shit.
I can't speak for these guys, but fuck scalpers. Fuck you.
I mean, you can ask anyone. You can't buy a figure from me. It's hard to get me to let go of anything. I'm a hoarder. Like, I think I've traded with Eddie a couple figures and with Corey a couple figures. That's it.
They're both hard to trade with, just so you know.
Yeah, like I don't get rid of everything comes in, nothing goes out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was hard prying them figures out of his hands. Those two Legions figures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like that's the fun part. Like later on, there'll be more parts. The parting out though, that one I wish would calm down the market on like the prices, so that we can like afford to build a stock and inventory. Because like heads, we can print heads all night, but
yeah,
other parts we can't.
I did not know that Mythic Legions were that fucking far into their mythology that they had that many factions, that many characters, that many backstories. That shit is fucking crazy, man.
It is big, and really, honestly, the backstory is not very connected. Like that's what's a big, nice part about it is that the backstory is not fully connected. It gets revealed over time, but during that, in the between, you're filling in the gaps yourself with your own like ideas, imagination, and story. So that's what kind of makes it a little more liberating to collect, because you're not just collecting, oh, I'm just gonna go after the mutants, X-Men, that's it. Or
But they haven't been out that
only.
long though, right?
They have not, no.
That's a lot for. Oh shit, it's not coming.
Like overall, it's impressive, especially with a smaller operation, doing that. Like looking at like Super 7, if we want to look at it scale-wise. Super 7 is kind of similar, I would assume, kind of. But they're going after a lot of licensed property, right? They're spending their time and money on licensed stuff.
Expensive.
Right? And how much are they paying? They're selling the figure for $55 to $75. How much of it are they keeping to themselves and how much are they paying for licensing, right?
They're probably only keeping about 20, 25 to themselves, I would assume.
In this case, they own the license for Legions and Cosmic. So they're saving a ton of money on that. And like, even the tribute shit is so detached from like the original material that they're not paying licensing. Like I don't think they paid licensing when they made Keltus, the Skeletor looking one. No.
But see, you with your monkeys and Corey with the fucking like the little candy corn cat. You're missing out on a lot. You could be licensing that shit on your own.
But it's more for the fun of it though. That's the part is like for me at least, sure it'd be fun to sell some of them, but we make them a lot more for us. You know, like I wanted He-Man, so Corey found a He-Man file, and now I can have like not just the regular Legion He-Man. Now I can have my own style of He-Man, and I can have an anti-Eternia one and a Faker. You
Yeah.
know, and I can just print as many as I want. And then we can do, you know, Merman and Trapjaw. And then we have our own custom files. Like we got The Witcher done now. So we'll have a Witcher head soon coming up for Legions. So I forgot we did mention that on the on highly posable. We talked a little bit about the upcoming head that'll be available. Here, I'll
Y'all
show
got
that
something
one.
coming up?
Here, I'll show it here on the second screen. Corey, if you want to show that.
What's the second screen?
Oh, my share screen. So we'll have a couple of new head files, and they're going to be Legion and Mezco scaled. Just gotta get the scales right before I print the demo pieces. So it's going to be Geralt,
So are y'all making those
the
on your
video game
own,
one.
or
Yeah,
having somebody do them for
we
you?
had a sculptor design them for us. Yeah,
That's fucking
and
cool.
thank you. So these will be. So McFarlane released his video game version of Geralt, and it was fine for a McFarlane figure, right? But it doesn't quite fit in with the Legions. So that's where this head will hopefully kind of bridge that gap. And it should be, I'm having it printed on the size to go with a Valak body. Because in my mind, at least the Valak was the closest to him. So right now it
Have like
has the Build-A-Butcher
a
head.
regal look versus like an armor.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, I just heard my garage door open. That
So I just
means
swapped the
my
arms. Oh, your
daughter
wife's
is
home.
here, so
Oh.
y'all have fun. Cheers
All
out
right,
to you.
thanks
I'll
for
talk to y'all
joining us,
motherfuckers
buddy.
tomorrow, man.
Hey, bud.
Yeah, man.
Take it easy.
Thanks for joining us. So on this one, I just swapped out the arms. Like I swapped arms with a dwarf, and I gave him the armored arms instead of the cloth ones. I kept the cloth pants because that works fine. And that's where the Geralt will go. It should work nicely. Looks
Yeah.
almost like a Viper school armor. And then hopefully soon we'll have a Siri to accompany that too. So that'll be even more exciting. So lots of cool shit to come, hopefully. And we have a giveaway as well. Is that right, Mom?
Yes, we'll be doing a giveaway, but that's going to be a post on the Instagram. I'll show you. I'm planning on giving away this custom
Hell yeah.
gladiator skeleton that made its way to legionscon and back.
Super sick. And that's a
So yeah, I'll do a
custom
post.
painted one.
Yep, it's just the Legion builder that I painted up
Yeah.
and put the Furious 4 gladiator head on there.
It looks really good. It has a piece of the
Um,
con with it.
but I'll also be giving away like smaller stuff. So just if you want like some of the heads that we had, I don't have any like here. Any of the heads that we had given away at LegionCon, just mention that you want a free head. We'll send you a free head. Or if you want one of these free mugs from Actionfigurist, just mention that you want a free mug. Say you want a free mug or free head in the direct messages, and we'll make sure you get something. So just
Hell yeah.
as a giveaway, as appreciation for everybody who's followed.
And we have lots of new reveals with the Necronominus wave, and going into 2023, we have some new releases coming up, some lots of new possibilities. As we opened up Mythic Heathens, we talked about, and we took the factions approach and races to kind of start it out. But we weren't gonna stop there. We're gonna continue to explore Mythos, continue exploring what it means to be a new collector to the Legions line, and a new collector from our perspective, where we're not your average, uh, taking the average approach to it, but we're printing our own parts, we're buying printed parts, we're taking shit apart, we're trying to go as dirty as possible, getting into the thick of it. Trying to look at it from approach of, do I backtrack and spend a grip of money, or do I do it smart and maybe we can build our own? You know what I mean?
Well, with them releasing these builders for cheaper and you just happen to paint the stuff, it's a good option. Hopefully they continue to do stuff like that.
Yeah. And it continues to fuel our imagination, passion to making customs, painting, and kit bashing and building, and that's, I think, a big part of what's always made it appealing to me.
Just
And that's what
creativity.
continues
It
to
just
make it.
makes
Yeah,
you creative, you know?
exactly. So, like, hopefully, I hope to see in 2023, like, lots of cool customs that we build.
Oh, like this.
Fuck yeah. That thing is
Someone,
badass.
yeah, someone posted this somewhere, and I had to do it. So I bought this hell cycle for $17 on Amazon. Got this for $20 from Target.
Fuck yeah. It's turning out excellent.
Yeah, I just gotta find the saddle. It's somewhere. Put the saddle on there.
It's gonna look good.
Yeah.
But that's
For my
the
custom.
best part about it. That's the fun part about it, dude.
Custom bat head for the old Baron Volger.
Nice. Yeah, with the painted up armor. And plus, we had a lot of new additions to the ranks, additions backfilling the races we had already covered. So those are new characters that we'll talk about too. The Furious 4 set came out, the Unknown one came out, Santa Claus, the Headless Horseman, as well as Red Krampus during that time. So a lot of new releases. The Figure Obscure line brought in a lot of new collectors too to the line. People who don't necessarily have to follow the main legions, and they just want to jump on the holiday themed ones. So that's been fun.
I wonder what the next figure obscura is gonna be.
Me too. What if we get an Easter Bunny next? That'd be fun,
Cool. Take an Easter bunny.
right? Like a psycho Easter Bunny.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're gonna do obviously because this Santa Claus isn't based on the Americanized Santa Claus.
Right.
They might do like other nationalities stuff. Like
Yeah,
for
as long
example,
as we get cool shit, man, I'm down for it.
What other kind of cool figure obscures could be made from old mythology from like medieval times? That's probably what they're going for, isn't it?
Well, I mean,
Like a
closer
horseman,
to, we'd probably, yeah. There's plenty of room. Like Sasquatch could work.
dude, Sasquatch would be
Chupacabra,
sick.
Yeti,
So like
Edward
cryptids then. So like
Edward
cryptids,
Scissorhands.
yeah.
Edward Scissorhands.
Fuck Edward
dude,
Scissorhands.
they had the Jersey Devil and the Mothman at the LegionsCon. Those were
Jersey
excellent
Devil,
costumes.
That
Mothman.
would be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
there's lots of room. Like, we could get a lot of cool shit. Like,
Cool.
it's not gonna be, they already said it's not holiday themed only. So, holidays are definitely part of it, apparently, but not necessarily only holiday.
I want to go out into the Pine Barrens.
Yeah.
Take any pictures of the Jersey Devil. Will come give me a visit. I
Yeah,
was out there in the Pine Barrens. It's spooky out there.
Not that.
Like, I would get fuck werewolves. I'm down for werewolves.
Yeah.
Dude, a werewolf would be
Yeah.
like fur arms, like fur
Right.
covered arms and legs.
Yeah, as long as
Like,
it's not all knighted up, that would be
Right, yeah. Even knighted up werewolves I'm down for too, but I want regular werewolves as well.
I'll still
Yeah.
buy it.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Like even with the line, like okay, they just revealed the fourth horseman. Is that the end of the line? No, like of course not. And they already said it's not. Like this is where now you
Well, like-
expand on the story.
Well, like at what point do they make V2s of the horsemen, right?
Exactly. At one point, do we get V2s of a lot of the characters? Thistlethorn
Yeah.
V2. Like,
Oh shit.
what new characters, what happened to the characters now that the Four Horsemen are here? Who died? Who became more rugged? Like Thistlethorn, is he gonna still look all clean and looking all nice? I wouldn't think so. Snag,
Goodness.
is he gonna just be dressed the way he is, or is he gonna find more shit to steal? You know what I
Thistlethorn got
mean?
an eye patch and shit.
Right.
Well,
Sweat.
What if the
the
next
weird thing.
snag you get has more loot and his armor looks different because he stole more shit, right?
That would be
In the
cool.
story. Right.
You said that the second version of that one elf is like an earlier version. Like, would they do that
That,
with other
yeah,
characters?
but Volgar is a later version.
Right.
Yeah. So it's not all following the same kind of timeline, I guess. And honestly, I like Artemis 2 more than Artemis 1. Like, I'm really glad I didn't buy Artemis 1 because 2 looks cooler.
Yeah.
Now, if I owned 1 and bought 2, I wouldn't feel bad at all, but I'd still like 2 more. Like Voligar 1, I like Voligar 1 more than I like Voligar 2.
Hmm.
Like at least, I don't know why, but maybe I don't. I just bought a lot of
I like
Voligar
I
1s.
I like this. It's aggressive nature and the armor is
It's
nice,
regal.
but it's a little too aggressive, right?
It's regal, is what it
I
is.
like
It's
I like this
majestic as
chest
fuck.
plate, but it seems like the chest plate with these pauldrons is too much. With that, I was like one. If it just had this neck collar and the rest was just flat armor, it would be okay. Or if it just had these pauldrons and it was all flat armor,
Like the pauldrons
but
are crazy.
it's like spikes everywhere, bro.
Yeah.
Spikes everywhere on this thing.
Like I am curious to see what it would look like in blood armor, though. That one.
Mhm. I was gonna do that, but then I decided to do the chrome accents.
Yeah. I want the next blood armor one I'm gonna make is gonna be a dwarf, though. I gotta get all the parts set up and
Well,
paint
like
them up.
this right here would probably be pretty easy to do a blood armor over. Like you
Oh
just
yeah.
wash some red paint over that.
Yeah, over the brown, it's ready to go. But the problem with that one is it's not, it's the cloth or leather shirt. So it wouldn't look as intense as
Oh, you're
blood
talking about
armory.
the arms, right?
Yeah, yeah. Because like the female blood armor that I did use the arms that came on, I want to say a vampire. I think I used a vampire Legion builder, the female vampire Legion builder. Use that for the thing. And then the Malefar had the armor.
Like even if they decide to do like armored versions of the
Ah, I fucking love that.
right, so if like they decide to do something like that, I mean,
Like
but I mean,
battle armor.
do the horsemen need armor? Do they need armor?
Why
No,
not? They would look
but it'd be
badass in
cool.
armor though.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Yeah, get fully armored. Like not only that, but like okay, imagine. So we get a battle armor, Arether, Ilithia, Apoxis, and Necro Nominus, right? But have a armored up head.
Yeah.
Like a fully armored up Arether head, right? That way, because you already have the first Arether, you can swap it out and make him unarmored. But what would he look like if he had full on armor and the fire was still coming out? Like, how badass would that look?
Well, technically he has face armor, so I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, he has the faceplate covering that ugly ass face. Man, his face is insane.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame it's covered up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because people don't get to see what it actually looks like. It's fucking gnarly, dude.
And that we're not gonna be able to get that head sculpt reused really in another character because it's Arether's head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it'd be hard for them to reuse it.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad if they retooled it somehow and made it like an exposed goblin head.
Me too. I would be happy about it with a goblin head. Actually, it would look awesome as a goblin head. Have instead of the fire, put some armor on there, a
Well,
helmet.
that guy painted one lime green. It was really sweet looking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one looks really good.
Yeah. The what is it? The scaphoid green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what Merplay, right? Merplay Design, I think, is his handle on Instagram. He's
Oh,
doing a whole clan of scaffolded ass motherfuckers. They look great.
Mm.
He just did a dwarf one, a Bromden one, and it looks sick.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well,
So
yeah, man.
next one, who
Uh,
are we covering on the next one?
I think we covered them all, didn't we? Is there? Uh,
I think we covered all the races, yes.
yeah, I think that's it. So, we'll just do. I don't know, factions. We'll just
Now
focus
we
on
can
a
cover
faction.
factions, yeah.
Do a
Factions
faction
at a
and
time.
pick out characters that we think would be good for like V2s or be like I don't know. Like yeah, I don't know. What to
That
think
would be
about that?
fun. Yeah. And like I said, we'll get back on the normal schedule once a month. We'll have a Heathens episode. But in the meantime, if you check out the Instagram page, you'll have the updates as we go. And
Yep. Keep an eye out for this
follow.
giveaway. Keep an eye out for this
Yes.
giveaway. Add this to your skeletal gladiator coming up on the Necronomicus wave stuff.
Yeah, it'll be a great addition to the Horde of the Undead.
yeah.
And follow Highly Posable and the Discord for it, as we have the Heathens channel in there. And we talk about all the new news and the weekly updates through it, and we continue the chat there as well. And the
Yep.
link to that is on the weekly episodes too.
Yeah, and don't forget to if you guys want a free head sculpt, message me, or if you want a free mug, free wooden cup, message me.
For that AL. I actually need some of those cups. So you're gonna put that shit on the drive? Yes, please. Thank you.
I have
Very
some.
nice.
I have some unpainted ones printed. Everybody wants them.
Yeah, I gotta clean up my resin tanks and get some prints done so I can get the Geralt demos out and made to see
Hell
how
yeah.
well they scale. Yes. But yeah. So on the next episode, we'll have some new news, some new information, updates on that giveaway and who won. So that should be exciting. And someone walk away with a brand new Legion figure.
Yeah.
Well, new to them.
Yeah,
New
a
to
nice
their collection.
customized one. Lots
Yeah.
of detail in this, man. Lots of detail. Lots of roasty detail.
I think it turned out really nice.
I'm probably gonna paint up this helmet a little bit.
Add
Just
more
make it
facades.
not so much just the Furious forehead. But
Yeah, make it a little more unique.
yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about painting up one of mine and putting it, because I have it on an orc builder and doing like a Marvin the Martian type looking Mercurian.
Well, I was looking. There's a green version, right? There's a green armor.
Deltagar, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Deltagar is the green
So
armored
there's
Mercurian
three
guy.
official ones. Then
Uh,
Ilgar. Ilgar will be the fourth. Not.
No, Ilgar doesn't have a Spartan helmet. Vitus, Pixis, Deltagar, and Bashadi the Alpha.
Shoddy.
Yeah, those are the ones that have the Spartan helmets. Pretty sure.
Oh, but I'm talking about skeletal, like the skeletal gladiator ones.
Oh, skeleton. The skeleton ones. Pixis is the only Spartan.
He's blue, right? Yeah, he's blue.
Yeah.
I thought there was like two or three of them.
No.
Oh.
No. What's his name? Elgar is a Viking.
Hmm.
Yeah. Or he's the closest to Viking in Mythos land. Although they had that MAFC head sculpt, I think it was, that looked like an Odin, and it goes ogre scale. I want to get that one, I think. Put it on an ogre. It would look crazy good. Like more intimidating than half giant, even with the moose horns.
Yeah. Well, good shit. Thanks for tuning in, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So we got Mythic Heathens episode 8 in the books, and
Yep.
wrapping up 2022 with the giveaway.
With the giveaway.
So
Yeah.
follow up the page. And for those that follow the Highly Posable, we're doing giveaways on the Christmas episode as well.
Next weekend, right?
Yes. And we hope to see everybody on episode 9
Yes.
in 2023.
Yeah, man. See you next year.
Absolutely.
Well, all right, y'all.
All right.
Good
Thank
night.
you again for joining us, and enjoy your toys.
Make sure to make
Peace.
a custom.
Yeah, man. Tear that shit apart.